come to the business before the Council, according to the agenda which was just adopted. And I invite, in accordance with decisions previously taken by the Council, the representative of Pakistan to the Council table.
Le Conseil de sécurité va maintenant s'occuper de la question inscrite à l'ordre du jour qui vient d'être adoptée et conformément aux décisions précédentes, j'invite le représentant du Pakistan à prendre place à la table du Conseil.
Well, India, instead of coming to the United Nations with a joint request that a plebiscite be held under the authority of the United Nations, lodged a complaint that Pakistan was assisting those who were challenging India's military occupation of Kashmir. The Security Council heard India's complaint and Pakistan's reply and came to the conclusion that the only just and democratic solution in Kashmir was a free and impartial plebiscite under the auspices of the United Nations to determine whether Kashmir should accede to India or to Pakistan. As to the conditions of the plebiscite, everybody who spoke gave expression to what, in their opinion, would constitute the minimum conditions which alone could guarantee a fair and impartial plebiscite. But the matter has been set out in the fewest possible words, was set out in the words of the distinguished representative of France, to which I draw attention, and I quote. He said, "I feel that three conditions are necessary in connection with this plebiscite. In the first place, all foreign troops must be removed from Kashmir. Secondly, all original inhabitants of Kashmir, both Muslims and Hindus, must be allowed to return to their places of residence. And thirdly, a free administration must be set up in Kashmir which will not exercise any pressure on the population in Kashmir and will thus ensure the fairness of the plebiscite." This is taken from the official record of the Security Council meeting held on the 24th of January 1948, and the reference is S/P V 235, page 136. Similar views were expressed by the majority of the members of the Security Council.
We shall, however, be only too willing and happy to be proved wrong in this instance. In our judgment, the chief obstacles in the way of making peace secure are fears of each other's designs and suspicions of each other's motives. Till these can be largely resolved and dispelled, proposals emanating from one side or the other, by whatever degree of sincerity inspired, are likely to be viewed by those whose acceptance is invited as maneuverings for position, attempts to steal a march, and judged accordingly. We appreciate that there may be some embarrassment for France in undertaking the presentation of its case on Morocco when the item charges France with violation in Morocco of the provisions of the Charter and the Declaration of Human Rights. If that should be so, I would appeal to our colleagues who have sponsored this item to agree so to modify its language as to leave out the charge of violation by France in Morocco of the provisions of the Charter and the Declaration of Human Rights.
But peace there as elsewhere continues to be precariously balanced. Our deliberations here and the decisions that we may reach will profoundly influence the future course of events. We pray that we may all be rightly guided, so that what we may say and what we do here shall promote and foster peace and the well-being and happiness of man, rather than further provoke ill will, strife, and misery. But Korea and the situation in the Far East are not the only tensions that threaten peace. In fact, there are but so many symptoms and manifestations of the basic evil to which we have just referred. In other words, that evil is the denial of the brotherhood of man, of all men, whatever the color of their skins, white, dark, brown, or yellow, and the arrogant assumption that certain sections of mankind are entitled as of right to exercise domination over other sections of their fellow beings. This is a doctrine that we repudiate and abhor. In our view, the exercise of such domination is an affront to human dignity and constitutes the gravest single threat to the maintenance of peace and the establishment of beneficent cooperation between different sections of the human race, irrespective of whether this domination manifests itself in Korea, in Indochina, in Tunisia, in Morocco, or elsewhere. We welcome it as such. There is much in that statement that we can emphatically endorse. We note with particular gratification the reaffirmation on behalf of the government of the United States of the belief expressed in the Declaration of Independence, quote, that governments derive their just powers only from the consent of the governed, unquote. And also of the belief declared by that greatest of American presidents, Abraham Lincoln, that there is, quote, something in that declaration giving not alone liberty to the people of this country, but hope to the world for all future time, unquote. Secretary Dulles went on to assure us, quote, no peace can be enduring which repudiates the concept that government should rest on free consent or which denies to others the opportunity to embrace that concept, unquote.
Will the representative of Syria state his case?
Le représentant de la Syrie désire-t-il prendre la parole?
Le representative of Pakistan. Le représentant du Pakistan.
Mr. President, the documents circulated so far show that on September 23, the chairman of the Israeli-Syrian Mixed Armistice Commission requested the State of Israel that, quote, the authority which started work in the demilitarized zone on 2nd September 1953 be instructed to cease working in the zone so long as an agreement is not arranged, unquote. That request has not been complied with, and the matter has now been brought before the Security Council. And no doubt the Security Council will go into the whole matter and give the parties the fullest opportunity of stating their case.
Government text from the representative of Pakistan, and then if you
give me 10 minutes, I may be ready with the text.